preventing the labor, trafficking, and exploitation of children and youth. Welcome to this video presented by the U.S. Committee for Refugees and Immigrants. This is the story of Andrea and her brother Jorge, fictional characters going through a situation that immigrant children may face. Jorge, a 16-year-old boy, was excited to come to the United States to live with his sister and discover more opportunities, but found himself in a labor trafficking situation. Imagine this scenario. You are the sponsor of your brother, Jorge. Before arriving without your knowledge, Jorge made a deal with a family acquaintance to help on a farm near your house for a few hours after school when he could, because he wanted to earn money to help his family in Guatemala. When he arrived at your home, everything was going well for a while. You enrolled him in the local school, and he had fun playing soccer with his cousins on the weekends. Soon, the acquaintance from the farm began calling and texting Jorge. Against your advice, Jorge started going to work on the farm after school. In the evenings, he came home from the farm extremely tired. He began to fall asleep at school and appear depressed at home, mentioning that he didn't even get a bathroom break at the farm.
It's too much.
Days later, the boss told your brother that he had to live on the farm with the other workers, since he had no transportation. Jorge wanted to go to school, but he felt he had to keep his end of the deal to help on the farm and earn money to support his family. Even though you told him he needed to stay with you, his sponsor, he left one day with all his belongings while you were at work. Now, you can only talk or text on the phone once a week, and Jorge seems to be getting more and more nervous about communicating with you. To make matters worse, Jorge's boss deducts rent, utilities, and food from his pay, and he has very little money remaining despite working over 50 hours a week. It has been 4 months since your brother arrived. Each month, Jorge becomes more depressed, saying he will never save enough money to help his family or improve his situation. The last time you saw your brother, he looked exhausted and as if he had lost weight. Your instincts tell you it's a bad situation, but you don't know what to do. How can you express your concerns in a conversation with your youth? Step 1. Create a feeling of safety. Before you begin, create a safe and comfortable environment for the youth.
Jorge, is it okay if we talk for a few minutes?
Sure.
Where would you like to talk?
Here is fine.
Brother, I'm really worried about you. I don't know exactly what's going on, but it's not your fault if you've been tricked and you're in an unsafe situation. Whatever you need to tell me, I won't get mad.
Step 2. Be direct and stay calm. Explain to the youth that this is important and serious.
I want to make sure you know the signs when a person is taking advantage of you, so you don't do anything dangerous, and you know what to do if you are unsure and need help. I noticed that you work too much, for very little money. You have lost weight and are becoming more and more depressed and hopeless. I am your sister and your sponsor, and it is my responsibility to keep you safe and take care of your needs in this country. I am concerned and want to make sure you are okay. Can you tell me more about what's going on?
This is not what I had imagined when I came to this country. I don't want to work all the time and live on this farm with strangers. But I felt I had to do it because I made a deal before I came here, and I have no other way to earn money. The worst thing is that when I told my boss that I don't want to work there anymore, he said something about the safety of my little brothers in Guatemala. Grandma has a big debt to pay for sending me here. I had to help. I was scared.
Don't worry, I am here to help you. Thank you for telling me the truth. When I agreed to be your sponsor, I agreed to give you a home and to be responsible for you.
How can I get out of this situation?
We will find a solution together.
Step 3. Find help. Depending on your situation, you can ask for help from one or more of the following. Talk to a trusted professional such as a school staff member, counselor, or caseworker if you have one. Ask how they can help support the youth. Or to report someone who you know is abusing or exploiting a child, call Child Protective Services or 911. If the youth goes missing, file a report with local law enforcement and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-843-5678. If you do not have a caseworker, call the Office of Refugee Resettlement ORR National Call Center at 1-800-203-7001 for assistance. You can also call the National Human Trafficking Hotline for help. They have interpretation services in different languages and are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can request support by calling 1-888-373-7888, sending a text message to 233733, or chatting online at humantraffickinghotline.org.
Certainly. Based on what you have told me, I see some warning signs of labor trafficking and exploitation. First, I would like you to start staying with me immediately and stop working on the farm.
Okay.
You will be safe with me, and remember, I will cover all your expenses here.
Thank you, sister. I really appreciate your help.
And we will call Grandma and explain to her what is happening. We need to report your boss and what he is doing on that farm. Even if he is someone we know from our home country, other people could also be in danger. Since we don't have a caseworker, how about we call or text the National Human Trafficking Hotline?
Yes, let's do that. I feel better knowing that I'm not dealing with this alone.
Step 4. Make a safety plan. It is very important to be prepared for the future. Make a safety plan with the youth.
Now let's make a list of other trusted people who you can call if I'm not available and you find yourself in another unsafe situation. Who are some other adults you trust?
I trust my older cousins and the priest at church.
Good. If you ever find yourself in a dangerous situation, contact me or another trusted adult immediately. If you are in an unsafe situation and can't contact me or another trusted adult, here is a list of numbers you can call. Save the numbers in your phone so that you always have them with you.
Thank you, sister. I feel better now.
You have nothing to thank me for. Thank you for trusting me. We will get through this together.
Let's review 14 warning signs that a youth may be at risk of labor trafficking or exploitation. If the youth is extremely tired, distracted, or anxious, experiences weight loss, malnutrition, and/or dental problems, is not allowed to enroll in or attend school, is obligated to pay rent and/or other household expenses, does not have their passport, money, or phone because someone else has them in their possession, appears to be monitored or controlled, is not able to speak for themselves or share information, has a debt to pay, or a debt that continues to increase, shares that they have been threatened by someone with deportation or harm, has a job that includes all transportation to and from work, works without adequate breaks to rest, eat, drink, or use the restroom, works long hours with inadequate pay or must meet a quota, is exposed to toxic chemicals or hazardous working conditions, lives in the same place where they work, in poor conditions, sometimes with many people. If you see any of the warning signs of labor trafficking or exploitation, follow the steps to keep your youth safe. Thank you for your attention. We invite you to explore our resource center for immigrant children at ucresourcecenter.org. where we have a virtual library that explains many important topics such as legal immigration, education, physical health, mental health, and much more. This concludes our video for today. See you next time.
The scenario depicted in this video is a dramatization created for educational purposes to raise awareness about labor trafficking and exploitation. Trafficking indicators, scenarios, individuals involved, process and outcomes of each case can vary based on the potential trafficking situation. This scenario may not represent a real outcome. Viewers are encouraged to seek assistance from law enforcement, Child Protective Services, their caseworker, the ORR hotline, and/or the National Human Trafficking Hotline for information, support, or to report the trafficking concerns. Contact 911 if you are in immediate danger.